average adult wastes 26 days per year doing nothing. That's 12 hours a week, more than 624 hours a year. Why is it that we waste time watching other people succeed at everything they do?
Cross to the middle. Juggle. Diving touchdown, Nebraska.
And goes right 5-hole on Mike Smith. I mean, what bad luck there from our Giordano.
Hold on. And that's hard to do with an assist. Antonio Freeman. Wow. Right on the top. Left arm, bring the ball up in the air.
Why does it seem that there is such a big gap between those that win and us, the losers? We fall into this cycle of comparing ourselves. Are they more gifted than me? Are they more motivated than me? Are they more attractive than me? Are they smarter than me? You succumb to this negative way of thinking and telling yourself that you will never reach your goals that you have set. You will never be what you have already told others you will be. You will never achieve that dream because you don't have the talent. And we quickly convince ourselves, I will never be good enough. I'm here to tell you, you cannot achieve that which you have already perceived yourself as failing at. We must first understand what is holding us back from achieving what has been set before us. But that will require that we take a look at the thing that we take for granted the most: time. Let's define how you and I understand time. We all view time in a linear fashion, with a point A and a point B. Now, this is a basic understanding as we applied it to our day-to-day living, but what happens if you can slow down time? Hear me out. Ever heard the phrase, time flies when you're having fun? Or, wow, time flew by, or did it though? Did time all of a sudden move faster? Was it because you were more productive? Or did you just stop caring about how that time was spent and you just achieved what you put your mind to? We perceive all these great people as something they were just born with, a lucky turn of events that they were blessed with, and we are not. What we do not see from the point of their peak success to where they first started is the tens of thousands of hours and the trail of micro failures it took to reach their pinnacle of achievement. But how do we apply what we perceive as greatness to our own lives? Why is it that every time we start something, it feels that the progress being made to achieve that goal is like stepping into darkness without a flashlight, with no direction, and nothing but our thoughts to direct us back into the same comfortable, stagnant feeling that we had when we first started? I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. And this is actually completely normal. So how do we turn our minds around from something that we have become so accustomed to being? We first have to pinpoint our excuses and where is our time being spent. What is the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about an action that we don't want to do? I don't have time for that, right? What if instead we change our frame of mind around that? What if this action leads me to the goal I said I wanted to accomplish? What happens to us when we start thinking about tomorrow's actions? We push what is actually important now to tomorrow and become frustrated as time passes by, because every day that goes by is another day copying and pasting the same frame of mind and expecting a different result, what the dictionary calls insane. We all have a little bit of insanity. However, our life does not have to reflect, which we know can be changed. Not next year, not next month, not tomorrow, today. This very minute. We have all heard about using time to become the better version of ourselves. Well, what happens when we have reached what we thought was the better version of ourselves? We set new goals to become another version of ourselves, and then another, and then another, and so on. You are seeking perfection, but that is not something that will ever be achievable. But what does have to happen first is changing the micro actions that leads us to the better version. But what is a micro action? Ever looked at a piece of garbage while walking down the street and thought to yourself, someone else will get it? Ever looked at something so basic as my clothes are on the floor, or my socks, or my bed isn't made? I'll get it later. How about neighbor's trash spilled over and saying, when are they going to go pick that up? How about letting that car in when merging, even if they don't deserve it? Oh, that one stung. But what all these things have in common, and more, is your present actions shape tomorrow's ripples. All these things that we consider small have the same weight to them as the actions that lead to life-changing events. The term death by 1,000 cuts is the negative of taking zero action. What if instead you think of things like life by 1,000 wins? The time you're taken to achieve nothing is the same amount of time it takes to achieve everything. It's the small things that have to change first in order to prepare you for the bigger decisions in the future. Remember that instrument you've always been meaning to play? That sport you've always wanted to try? How about the person you said you wanted to get to know better? If you are constantly looking up the mountain from the valley of desire, the steps that it takes to summit are just echoes of dreams unreached. We have to look at every day as a step toward the top of that mountain. And it starts with doing the things we consider so small that we can achieve the things we consider big. But how do we overcome our mind when making the decisions to act? This is where the gap between stimulus and reaction comes into play, also known as self-control. But not the type of self-control where you say to yourself, I'm going to stop thinking about that, or I'm going to stop doing that, or I'll just wait till tomorrow. There is a split-second moment of opportunity where you get to make a choice about the decision you are about to make, transferring the action of the immaterial, which is your mind, to the physical world, which is your environment. It's taking the knee-jerk reaction to a situation and slowing it down to analyze and formulate a proper response that changes the physical outcome of a given scenario. Like when you're faced with the choice of picking up your phone and scrolling, or picking up that instrument and learning the song you always wanted to play. You have the power to change in those micro moments. It is a struggle we all face on a daily basis, though. But we do have to remember that during this process of taking back your time is that you will fail, but that does not mean you are a failure. The greatest players in history did not concentrate on how they failed. They concentrated on how they won. Winning thoughts equals winning actions equals actual wins. The people that each of us look up to had to go through the same process you are going through right now. We have to make decisions every day that affect the time we are given. We act or fail to act not because of will, as is so commonly perceived, but because of imagination. You are not lazy or unmotivated or a failure. It's that you don't perceive yourself as winning in that situation, which takes time. If you pull the lever hard enough, the same or greater will be achieved as the output. My hope for you is you start viewing time as a precious commodity that someday will run out, because it will. And what you will be left with is not the feeling of guilt, but the knowledge that no matter what happened in your life, you gave your 100% effort to achieve it. The world is full of people waiting for you to impact them. Now is the time, not tomorrow. not next month, now. We need to realize that age is a number that only time keeps track of. It doesn't matter who you are, what you have done, where you are currently in life. If you want something better tomorrow, you must make the change today. And if you like this video and you want to take your first step in change, check out this video right here. Leave a like and comment below if this somehow helped you in any way, or share this with someone you think this might help in their journey. Now go take back your time in 3, 2, 1, change.